All right, today we're going to dig into the digital archives and pull out a name you've probably never heard of, or maybe, just maybe, you've completely forgotten. We're talking about a true internet pioneer, a search engine that was once a giant. This is the story of MetaCrawler.
So I want you to think back for a second, or for some of you, just imagine a time before Google. The early web was, well, it was a total mess, a real digital Wild West. You had all these different search engines like Lycos, WebCrawler, and Yahoo, all competing, all giving you different results. Finding anything specific was a huge pain. But what if you didn't have to pick and choose? I mean, what if you could just type your search one time, send it out to all of the big players, and then get back one single clean list with the best results from everybody? Now that was a powerful idea, and that's exactly where our story kicks off. And this brilliant concept actually has a name. It's called a meta-search engine. See, it doesn't do the crawling of the web itself. Instead, it's like a master searcher. It takes your query, passes it on to other engines, and then does the smart work of collecting and organizing all their results for you. Back in the mid-90s, this was an absolute game changer. So where does an idea like this even come from? Well, this story doesn't start in some Silicon Valley garage or a flashy boardroom. Nope, it started somewhere much, much quieter. That's right, this whole thing wasn't even meant to be a commercial product. It was a research project, born out of pure academic curiosity, right inside a lab at the University of Washington. And what's really wild is why they built it. A grad student named Erik Selberg and his professor Oren Etzioni, they weren't trying to build a business at all. MetaCrawler was just a tool for a PhD project. They accidentally built something that millions of people, as it turned out, desperately needed. And once it was out there, boy, did it grow fast. They developed it in '94, launched it in the summer of '95, and in just over a year, MetaCrawler was an internet phenomenon. And get this, it was all running on just 4 computers at the university. The scale of its success was just staggering for the time. By the end of 1996, those university servers were getting hammered with 150,000 searches every single day. So yeah, the project was a huge hit, but it was also creating a huge problem for the university's network. And that success is what shoved MetaCrawler right out of the academic nest and headfirst into the absolute frenzy of the dot-com bubble. This quiet university project was about to get really, really loud. Because here was the fundamental problem. A revolutionary idea is great, but it's not a business model. MetaCrawler was providing this amazing service for free, but the university was stuck footing the massive bill for all that traffic. Something had to give. So the only logical solution was to sell it. In early 1997, a startup called GoToNet bought the project, and just like that, MetaCrawler officially left the world of research and entered the wild world of business. And once it was in the commercial world, the floodgates just opened. You see, GoToNet wasn't just any startup. It had some people with some very, very deep pockets behind it. The growth was just astronomical. GoToNet went public on NASDAQ. Microsoft's own co-founder, Paul Allen, invested and became the majority owner. Daily visitors shot up from 30,000 to 275,000 in about a year. And this all led up to July 2000, when a company called InfoSpace came calling with a massive offer. $4.2 billion. That's what InfoSpace paid to buy GoToNet, and MetaCrawler was a huge part of that deal. I mean, that number just perfectly captures the absolute insanity of the dot-com peak right before the whole thing came crashing down. But being part of a multi-billion-dollar corporation wasn't exactly a golden ticket. MetaCrawler, this amazing innovator, was about to get completely lost inside a much, much bigger machine. See, the problem was that InfoSpace also owned Dogpile, another really popular meta-search engine. So all of a sudden, MetaCrawler wasn't the star of the show anymore. It was just one of several search products, all competing for resources and attention inside the same company. And that lack of focus led to a full-on identity crisis. In 2014, InfoSpace just gave up. They merged MetaCrawler's operations into another search site they owned, a kid-friendly engine called Zoo.com. The original brand was basically just wiped off the map. From there, things got even sadder. The domain, metacrawler.com, just became a redirect. For a while, it sent you to zoo.com, And then later, it just forwarded you to another old web portal, excite.com. It really felt like it was over for good. But then, years later, the story takes this completely unexpected turn. Right when it seemed like it was totally forgotten, MetaCrawler was about to make a surprising comeback. So in 2016, the entire InfoSpace portfolio gets sold for just $45 million. I mean, what a tiny fraction of that $4.2 billion, right? The new owner, which eventually became a company called System1, actually saw value in that old brand. And in 2017, they decided to bring it back to life. And just like that, almost 3 decades after it started as that little university project, MetaCrawler.com was alive again. It was a functioning, standalone metasearch engine. The pioneer had actually returned. So what's the big takeaway here? MetaCrawler's story is really a perfect time capsule of the web itself. It proves the power of a simple, great idea. It's a classic tale of the dot-com boom and bust, and it shows how even the best ideas can get lost in corporate shuffling, but that a truly useful concept can be resilient enough to survive just about anything. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. Today, we live in an internet where one company basically owns search. So there's something really fascinating about looking back at MetaCrawler's original goal. Not to be the single best search engine, but to bring all the others together. It makes you wonder, what would the web look like today if that idea had won?